I think the fact that I know I'm not where I'd like to be or need to be. Before, I wasn't even too worried about like adulting. I mean, of course, life got a little monotonous and routine, but it was okay. I'd hate to use the buzzword generational wealth, but I am just trying to have something set up for my kids, for their kids, even if it's not a lot, just something. That to me is my
Sometimes the hardest part isn't not having enough money. It's trying to plan your life when your income keeps changing. I'm sitting down with Asia. She's asking how to stop feeling like she's drowning long enough to finally breathe. You had mentioned something about your mom in your bio. How does that factor into all of this?
She has multiple myeloma, so it's affecting like her bones and her bone marrow. She's not the same mommy I remember, but she is here, which I am very thankful and grateful for. And the job that I was at the time, I had to be there pretty early. And my mom was helping me out with watching my baby because the daycare wasn't open early enough that I had to be at work. When we found out about her diagnosis, she wasn't able to keep him anymore. So I lost my job basically because he wasn't really willing to work with the new schedule that I was going to need. And that kind of put a big damper on things.
How are you feeling about all of this?
It was definitely a major shock. My mom was like my buddy. That was my best friend. And it's changed. So I'm sorry. Again, she was pretty much my only friend. And not that she's not around. Like I said, things are just different. So it was hard. It was hard.
You feel like it's hard to focus on a job because of your mom, because it weighs so heavily?
Yeah, definitely so. And it's not just that, but it's other factors as well, which kind of just makes it worse. Again, I feel like once I found out, life kind of started doing this tumble in the wrong way. My girls are, I have two teenage daughters, on top of the baby, and there were also issues with them at school and behavior that kind of also compounded this stuff with my mom. I think it's just because I feel like there's been so much at one time. Focusing has definitely been difficult because I haven't had time to process really everything that's going on. And especially like with my kids, she'd kind of be the person that I would talk to about things.
Take me back to before your mom got sick. Were you struggling then? What was your financial picture like then?
I had enough to where my bills were paid and there was still just a little bit of extra spending.
Because your mom was watching the baby?
Yeah, that, yes, ma'am, too, which gave me some mental time to me too.
What does Instacart, you said, break down hourly? Do you know?
It's really kind of up to you
Okay.
and how much you pick up batches. Granted, as long as the store is open, there's an opportunity to get a batch, as they say, which is just an order of you fulfilling for one of the shoppers that do it. The thing with Instacart is it's not really by the hour; it's just based off of how many items they get. So you may have an order that may have 12 to 13, but then you have to travel 6 miles. So you also have to factor in the time it takes to get to their house. But then sometimes you'll have batches that come in for like 34, but then the mileage is also 22 miles. So it's kind
I
of
see.
hard to say in a way
Okay.
because you're not paid by the hour, you're just paid by the batch.
So that sounds that much more unpredictable.
It,
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have like retail experience. You said you have a massage therapy certification. You need to renew
Certification.
the license, right? What does that pay?
That was actually probably the most money I've made in my life. So I was making anywhere between 18 to 25 an hour, and you figure you're doing seven a day. That's almost $200 a day plus the tips that you may get. But during that period, my mentality definitely wasn't where it is now. I was still trying to be a kid, still trying to be a teen. Like I'd like to say I've grown up already, but I'm still trying to figure this adult thing out.
What's the most confusing thing about being an adult? What's the most difficult thing to figure out?
How to make it, I guess. Now I'm not even really sure like at this point because before I wasn't even too worried about like adulting. I mean, of course, life got a little monotonous, and routine, but it was okay.
When you say it's hard, is it now because you have the teenager that's a teenager and you have your rock that is, I don't want to say she's not there for you anymore, but I understand you don't want to stress her out. Is it because you feel emotionally isolated? What is it? What is it about this moment that makes the adulting hard?
I think the fact that I know I'm not where I'd like to be or need to be to not only sustain myself, but enough to where, again, I don't really have to worry about working necessarily. My money kind of works for me, and I'm able to just be present, be with my kids, be with my family as much as possible. That to me is my. That's why I'm also just interested in learning and investing, and again, just making my money kind of work back for me too, so that way it keeps like a consistent flow. I'd hate to use the buzzword generational wealth, but I am just trying to have something set up for my kids, for their kids, or even if it's not a lot, just something.
Have you thought about going back to being a massage therapist and how many hours it would take in order to cover your bills and have extra money that you can invest? And also, you got to have fun. You're 35. Have you thought about that?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
Thing is, with it being in a lab status, the school that I went to is no longer certified, so I'm not able to renew it without restarting another program, basically. So that would
How much
be,
does that cost?
I want to say when I went to API, it was at least 10 grand
Oh
for
my
for the program.
God.
Yes, it
And
was an 11th month program, but yeah,
what?
it was 10,000 then.
Yeah, but you're still certified. How can they take that away from you? It's like me going to college XYZ or getting certified for whatever building. And then the school where I got my education shut down, but you still have your
I've been doing
education.
I kept up with the continuing education units that I need because every 2 years is when we had to renew it. Within that time, you needed 24 hours of CEUs, half online, half in person. Definitely still have that. Even prior, like now, because I was trying to renew my license, and that's just when I found out
No,
that.
this is what I want you to do. No, you're not paying another $10,000. That is ridiculous. I would write the state attorney general and say, and just copy a bunch of relevant people at the state. And I would also copy like the people in the licensing division and say,
Mhm.
listen, I'm a mom with 3 kids and I'm trying to make it. And you all are telling me I have to take another course. I don't have the money. And I would say, I need my license renewed. And how can you help me? I always say in the podcast, one goal and a plan.
Mhm.
Your one goal, we got to get this email out tomorrow. I will help you write it. This is something that you earned with your time and your money. You need a consistent, predictable income, right? With 3 kids. So how are you getting by now? Do you have savings?
Primarily just the Instacart because you can kind of cash out your money that day, which helps, and then also just support from my parents, and they've been helping out.
You don't have credit card debt, right? You do?
That's a whole nother podcast episode. It's
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, financial
How much
literacy with this one is
how
needs
much
work.
credit how much credit? That's okay. You know what? Better late than never. You're very young. You're 35 years old.
And now credit card debt, probably not so much if it's that specifically. I just know I have debt from like student loans and medical bills.
The student loan is from this certification school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will help you figure this out because it's wrong. We have laws. We got to figure this out. So the student loans are from the massage and what else?
If I ballpark it, maybe closer to 30. I've never
Oh my
really
God.
even.
All right.
I'm not sure. I'm just gonna put that at the high point and hope it's way lower than that.
We have to get you what's going to give you hope with everything is some predictability, right? What else could you do aside from the massage therapy? You talked about customer service, retail management, store leadership, merchandising. Do any of those pay more and give you more flexibility than being a massage therapist?
No.
Okay.
None that I've had, at least.
I wonder, like, would your parents help you with childcare if you found like a worthy job?
Definitely, more than likely. They're usually especially if I have like a plan in place. If I'm helping, if I'm helping me, they're definitely gonna always be there for me. That's never been a question, pretty much. So
Okay.
I'm sure.
First, you have to know what your financial picture is. You need to know exactly how much debt you have. The medical bills, you're going to call them and tell them you can only pay half anyway. And then after that, I want you to send an email to the state attorney general of Georgia and the head of licensing at the state of Georgia and say, I worked for X number of years making a very good living as a massage therapist. Because this school is now out of business and they've lost their accreditation, you're telling me I can't renew my license. I need to feed my family. What do I need to do to renew my license?
Right.
I can't afford another certification. The point to them is you have the certification and you should be able to renew your license. The
Right.
sins of the school are not your frickin' problem.
Because I'm telling you, these hands are still magical. That I
They're
do know.
magical. They're
That I do
magical.
know.
If you're willing to work like 30 hours a week, you're going to be raking in the cash. So let's start with that. Those two things, I think that's enough, but you have to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask now, finding out my debt, is there somewhere I can go specifically that kind of tallies it all up, or is it just a matter of me going through all these bills and calls and mails?
It'll be on your credit report. That's where you can
Okay.
find it.
So in general, just like a basic credit report will kind of give you that
Yeah,
breakdown.
I would start with the credit report.
Okay.
There's no better place, right?
Again, as I said, financial literacy is like I know it's needed.
The way that I want you to think about it, though, you know it's needed and you're doing something about it. You got to pat yourself on the back. You're going to send that email, you're going to get your license, and then we're going to start working as a massage therapist, but also know who we owe. You don't really owe much in credit cards, and don't ever go down that route. You're lucky. That's a very common problem. And then let's see where that leads, because you need the cash today. Let's try to build that with what we have. And then we'll look to plan B. If you send the state of Georgia they will be able to help you.
$250 is a lot less than 10 grand. So I could probably go ahead and write up the email after this, at least have it prepared.
Okay. And then number 2 is just
Okay.
knowing who you owe, and we'll take it from there. Is that plan doable?
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely.
I want to know what happens if you don't figure this out.
I'd hate to think about what may happen. I'd make it happen in a way I'd feel because I have to. It may not be something that I'd want to do, but again, I understand what needs to be done. I need to eat every day, so it's like I can't
Yeah,
not do nothing.
Asia, we are going to keep in touch
Okay.
and we're going to get through this together. But whether or not I'm in the picture, you're so intelligent. You've taken that first step forward. It's the upward trajectory for Asia.
There we go.
We're moving in the right
It's
direction.
only up from here.
Only up from here. So thank you.
Thank you, Miss Coche.